Old Fashioned Football on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, a sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGP to get 50% off the first month today and start making smarter bets today. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time tickets make the perfect holiday gift. Sign up at gametime.co and use promo code CFBX for $20 off. Gametime.co, promo code CFBX.
Hey, what's up? This is Sam Acho, and you're listening to Old Fashioned Football.
Old Fashioned Football.
Make this deal right now, you pancake eating mother.
All right, deal.
Old Fashioned Football.
Welcome to Old Fashioned Football. If you're wondering who you're listening to, this is J Mark. You can find me on the X at J Mark Football. And if you're wondering who us is, that's at Old Fashioned FB. Before I keep going to talk about these semifinal playoffs, got to introduce my co-host on the pod and in life. You can find her on the X at the Mer Mark. You can call her Mer. Mer, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Are you
doing good?
You stall because I did not get time to get all the socials posted. We're trying a new thing of going live on Instagram, and then it was talking to me, and I was very confused. So let's see if this is working.
Starting
properly.
out as a royal shit show over here.
Hey, it's our first time on Instagram. That's a brand new thing that StreamYard is offering.
You threw StreamYard on Insta.
Yes.
It's not our first time on Insta.
No, it's our first time streaming live on Instagram. If it's working, I have not had a chance to
Words
check.
matter. Justin.
You're supposed to be filling time in here so I can do this. And you're arguing. You're making me argue with you.
I know. We started arguing as soon as I got home today. So.
Well, that's because of what you decided to purchase in town.
Who is allergic to pine trees? We have pine trees all over on our property.
But I don't go up and sniff them. I don't bring them into my house.
It was on sale. I grabbed it as I went into the grocery store. It's a beautiful pine arrangement. And it's going to sit outside.
Pine arrangement. I think I can feel my throat closing already.
All right. Should we talk about how your fantasy football teams did?
I'm still trying to get us posted on the socials because the Insta thing threw me. Just for a little behind baseball, as Mr. Rod Villagomez would call it, the streaming live to Insta works a little bit different. I hit live on Insta. I couldn't tell if it was going, and all of a sudden, all I heard was an echo of our intro music playing because it was playing through Insta on my computer. So I don't know if that's not what I wanted it to do. It's very possible.
It's a user issue. It's a you issue.
It very good. It's brand new. And you know that sometimes I'm technologically disadvantaged. Okay. I guess would be the word. But anyways, maybe we're live on Insta. Maybe we're not. We can't be live on Facebook though.
No, because you still are locked out of your account. I know this has been like I don't know. I'm not on Facebook that much, but you have been stressing about the fact that you got hacked.
Yes.
You regained control of your Insta, but our Facebook page is through your Facebook page. So we don't have Old Fashioned Football on Facebook right now.
No.
And I'm not married on Facebook right now. No, I am. I'm married. It just doesn't say I'm married to you.
Well, I will tell you, if anybody slides into your DMs because it doesn't say you're married to me, then you let me know so that I can nicely send them a photo of my middle finger. Okay, and I will be flexing my hand as much as I can when I do it. So, man, that's a macho looking hand. I don't want hit by that thing.
You're gonna be doing hand flexes before you get your veins popping on.
I have those little things.
You do downstairs. Yeah, you do downstairs.
Be working those.
Your veins will be popping on the back of your hand. It'll be a scary photo.
Exactly. Nick checking in the chat. If you're not in the chat, come on over to YouTube so you can talk with us. But he says fake trees are the best. I don't think it's fake. It smells very real.
No, it's real. Nick, I bought a real pine branch. It is a branch, but it has other pine stuff. It's like 3 or 4 different pines together in a pine bouquet. And I had this really cute idea to put a bow on it, have it on the counter, in a vase that I have. And no, it's going to be outside. It'll greet people who come over to our house. Outside will be
disgusting.
piney.
I do think, I apologize, y'all. I do think I ended the Insta live stream. So
we'll figure it out another time.
Yeah, we'll figure it out next time. And he also wants to know where my festive hat is.
You know,
Miranda bought this, but she did not bring me one.
No, this is not the look I was going for. I wanted a fluffy Santa hat because this is like our Christmas show, because our next waiver and whiskey show is the day after Christmas. So this is our festive show. We're drinking my signature drink.
We are in these fancy glasses that sometimes I have trouble holding. And
it's a coupe. It's like a coupe style glass. I love it. But we are drinking the sweater weather, what I dubbed the sweater weather.
Yes.
With Savage and Cook's Bad Sweater, brown sugar, holiday spiced whiskey. It's phenomenal. And it is amazing.
You made it very, very well.
Thank
I do
you.
remember from the first time we talked with Dylan that he did think it was funny that they put brown sugar on there, because he said that's a very small part of it.
Yeah.
Very small
but
in the
it
recipe.
Makes an amazing like holiday winter old fashioned sweater weather.
These what's the deal with these cherries?
It doesn't look great, does it?
No, they're large and charged and they look like a testicle. What is going on with these?
I don't know. We haven't had cherries for a long time. I bought the Bordeaux cherries for this drink because that's the kind of cherry that we had in it. And they're massive.
And wrinkly. And I don't know.
Yours was on top. That was the top cherry. Mine's not wrinkly, but it's massive.
You were asking about the playoffs, and I was a little flustered trying to do the socials. You and I are the 1 seed and 2 seed in Nick's league.
Mm-hmm.
And we face off against the Mr. Ford and his fiance. So the soon to be Fords.
Yep.
So that'll be interesting. In our league, I had a first round bye, so I am advancing. In the family league, I lost.
I'm like in the toilet bowl.
You are in the family league.
Yeah,
in all the leagues.
It's
just kidding.
Excuse me.
Just kidding. You did lose in our league that we run.
I know.
Our long-standing league.
I know.
A couple others. I'm in Moonoff's league. I advanced in that one, so I'm in the final
Dynasty?
4. The Dynasty, I lost.
Oh, that means we're not going to face each other.
We will not face each other. I am counting on you to win.
I'm counting on myself to win. Don't worry.
Yeah, and I advanced in a couple others.
I've never done. It's my first Dynasty league, and I'm just
number 1 seed. Well, you did drop to the 2 seed.
I did,
but
because of quarterback situations.
Yeah.
But I think I've got it under control now. So
I think so. I'm pulling for you, obviously. I took over a dynasty in this league where the guys' quarterbacks were, I want to say, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, and Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So not good. And it's a super flex. So, and they noticed after week 3 that he was not setting his lineups. He still had Rodgers in and stuff like that. So they booted him out, brought me in. This was Cody that brought me in. Because he's like, this year and next year's paid. How do I say no to that?
It's free.
Right. It's free. So I had to jump in.
Free chance to win money.
Yeah. And I finished as the 7th seed out of 12. So I just didn't make the playoffs, but it was an impressive turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
He even said he was impressed with how I was able to kind of turn that around. And then there was another one I was trying to think of. Oh, Brad's Dynasty League, that last year they were probably the worst team, I think. Second worst team. And I was able to make the playoffs.
You didn't even know. So you're just going to say it's the worst team.
Worst or second worst.
You're just saying it so that you can sound good.
They were 11th or 12th, but
he doesn't know. You think he has that good of a memory?
To make the playoffs, I don't have a good memory. That's for sure. To make the playoffs, I was happy about the turnaround there because I made a lot of changes and trades to that. Anyways, nobody wants to hear about my fantasy football. Probably don't even want to hear about yours. Did you lose in the Pirate League?
No.
You didn't?
Wait, hold
Looks
on.
like you did. I'm looking at it right on your phone.
I just pulled
it
up. Oh my God, did I really?
It looks like Cody beat you.
I had it in the bag. Full transparency, yesterday was the day, and I didn't check after the games yesterday. He did.
Dylan Fink says, hey, if you're answering fantasy questions, I got a bunch. Made second round in both my leagues this year. Congrats. That's
yeah,
awesome.
congrats. And throw the questions our way,
Yeah,
please.
we'll answer them the best that we can.
Mhm.
We're also going to go over some injuries, studs and duds, or throws a lot,
And then
waivers.
break down some waivers.
Yeah.
This week, I'm bringing you waivers for playoff help. Immediate this week, probably this week only. Playoffs.
You want to talk about the playoffs?
It's serious. This is serious. I know that your strategy for waivers this week is different than mine. I am focusing on the immediate emergent. You have injuries. The injury report severely affects me right now across every league. I have people injured in every single league.
I had a league where I was out Josh Jacobs, Brian Robinson, Keenan Allen, and Chris Olave. How am I supposed to win when I drop those 4 guys because they're out? Like, that's my excuse for losing anyways. Always got to be ready to roll, though, I guess. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, Dylan, we appreciate you for checking into the show. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the thumbs up. All that stuff helps. And start throwing your questions in there. We will answer them the best we can. Before we get to questions, we got to talk a little bit about Prize Picks. Prize Picks is an amazing fantasy platform where you basically pick player projections. And with basketball season here, you can now pick combo projections across football and basketball from Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. For example, maybe you want to take DeMar DeRozan, the Chicago Bull, and Cole Kmet, the Chicago Bear, at 10.5 combo of 3 points made plus receptions. You can do that. Plus, they offer a reboot policy. So let's say DeMar DeRozan gets hurt in the first half, doesn't come back for the second half. Guess what? That's rebooted. They're the only daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. It's really simple to play. Make your picks and submit your entry in less than 60 seconds. Prize Picks also offers these also awesome promos like Taco Tuesday. Each Tuesday, Prize Picks discounts select player projections. Now, they're not doing that right now because, Miranda, they're doing Demons and Goblins, which is a version of Naughty and Nice. I don't know if I think of a goblin as nice, but that's their nice one. And you can get some really nice alt lines. We are going to post this on Whiskey Wednesday like we normally do at Old Fashioned FB and on our Insta, but here's my picks. Here's a couple nice ones and then a couple normal ones. So Matt Stafford, more than 224.5 passing yards. Cooper Kupp, more than 49.5 receiving yards. Kyron Williams, more than a half rushing touchdown. Josh Allen, more than 24.5 rushing yards. Those are the nice picks. I also have James Cook, more than 20.5 receiving yards, and Alvin Kamara, more than 49.5 rushing yards. You can get those. It still pays a good 5 times your money. Go to prizepicks.com/SGPN and use code SGPN for a deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/SGPN, code SGPN. Prize Picks Daily Fantasy Sports, made easy. Okay. All right, Dylan, let's start getting to some of these questions. You good with that?
Yeah, let's jump in.
I'll read them. My opinion on grabbing what your opponents need off the waivers, even if you don't need it. I like it. So if you have the room for it, obviously, don't sacrifice your team to do it. But yeah, say they have an injured quarterback and you want to grab the best quarterback on the waiver. I 100% like that.
That is a dirty strategy, and I support it 100%.
Yeah. Dylan did say no rush on answering all these. So if we do want to do injuries, we can.
No, that's it. That's absolutely, you absolutely need to be doing that.
I agree. Yeah. Go.
If you're able to, and you know that they're hurting and you're going against them, that is go grab them. I support it.
Why not? I mean, that we've talked on some of our past things about weasel moves and people being weasels. That one is not a weasel.
That's not a weasel move. No. That's a smart strategic move.
Just a nice strategy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right. So full PPR. Here's the first one. Flacco at Houston, Stroud if he plays versus Cleveland, Mullins versus Detroit, or DeVito against Philly.
Dummy DeVito,
who didn't look all that good. I think you got to go with Joe Flacco.
So
it's weird to say.
It is very weird. We are going to talk about Joe Flacco in a little bit, and we have seen him he is our Sir Throws a Lot this week. He was runner-up for Sir Throws a Lot the past 2 weeks. I don't know what world we're living in, but
or what year it is.
He had a great game against us.
Yeah.
It was
did not like that.
No.
But it is what it is.
I do not think Stroud is going to be playing. I would love it, but I don't think he's going to be cleared.
I'm hearing that as well, that he will probably miss the second game. So no Stroud. Mullins, I mean, he looked good, but you always get that bump that first game they start, and then it seems like the second game there's more game tape of how they're going to be running that offense, and they don't do as well. I worry about that. Tommy DeVito, Philadelphia's defense is not that great. However, I thought they did a decent job at limiting Seattle's big plays, and so DeVito, he's dealing with, I guess he came back into the game, but he was banged up a little bit. And yeah, I think you got to go Joe Flacco on that one.
I think just because of the trending, how he's trending and how he's looking,
yeah,
I don't think you can go wrong picking him up, going with him.
Agreed. Start 2 running backs and 1 flex. Are you ready for this? Joe Mixon at Pittsburgh, James Cook at Chargers. Don't get me started on James Cook.
We got into an argument about James Cook, and do you know who's right?
Not really.
Yes, we did, because you came to me. This is why you came to me for advice on your lineup.
An opinion.
Yeah, advice. An opinion is the same thing as advice. Let's just get real with this. And I told you, I don't think having Cook on your bench makes sense. I think you had, okay.
But then what did I ask you?
So you had Alvin, Saquon Barkley. Jesus. DeAndre Swift.
And Zach Moss.
And I always am of the opinion that you start your studs and you shouldn't sit your studs, even though Barkley had a tough matchup. I was in between Barkley and Swift, but I said you start your studs. However, I also think that Cook is a stud. And Zach Moss did get a touchdown.
Yeah. He did. Yeah.
Yes.
And then he left with an injury, so he could have had a much better day. But
could have. And I didn't check to see. I don't have Swift in my leagues. How did he do?
Imagine my face when I saw that Jalen Hurts ran both the rushing touchdowns and 0 for DeAndre
But I
Swift.
did not. I strongly disagreed with leaving Cook on your bench. And you did. You left him and you suffered. And that's just how it goes. When you don't listen to your wife.
That's how it goes. I would have won. I did not win. Anyways, James Cook at Chargers, Tony Pollard at Miami. I like that you are listing them so that I don't have to look them up where they're playing. That helps a lot, actually. Jaden Reed at Carolina and Isaiah Likely at San Francisco. So James Cook is an automatic play. The Bills are playing at a very high level right now. They're going to make the playoffs, in my opinion. After everybody thought that they might be not making the playoffs, I think they're going to get in there. So that's one of your running backs. Then 2 running backs, 1 flex. Your other options are Joe Mixon at Pittsburgh or Tony Pollard at Miami. I think you got to go with Pollard. I don't know.
I'm looking.
You're looking.
I need to check something.
Actually, I kind of like both of them. Put one in your running back, one in your flex. Jaden Reed is questionable, but that Carolina defense either way is a pretty decent defense, despite the fact that Carolina sucks. And San Francisco, obviously the best defense. They did let Trey McBride have a big day, but I don't know. You got to go Mixon.
I think Mixon. That's where I was leaning because you said.
So Mixon and Cook as your running backs.
Because you were saying Pollard.
I think
I would go Mixon and Cook. Those are if you're picking 2 of them, it's Mixon and Cook.
So for your flex, Tony Pollard. I'm ruling Jaden Reed out. Carolina has a pretty good defense. So I think Reed has a bad day. So Tony Pollard at Miami or Isaiah Likely at San Francisco.
Pollard.
Maybe. I think Pollard too. Trey McBride did just have 10 catches for 100 and some yards against that 49ers defense.
I like your running backs.
Yeah.
You got some good ones.
I think
Pollard is a really good flex option.
All right. And then you want Broncos defense against New England or Green Bay's against Carolina. Both offenses suck. I don't know. Bailey Zappi, he looked good for a minute, and then he made some throw into quadruple coverage that looked like they were trying to tank. However, Green Bay does go against Bryce Young, and Bryce Young is probably the worst number 1 pick that we have seen for a while. My opinion.
I can agree with that.
Okay. Yeah. So I would go Green Bay's defense. So, yeah, we decided on that one. We'll answer the other question in a second here. Karen, how's it going? In the Super Bowl, Higgins or Laporta in flex? Please text the answer watching. Oh, okay. I'll message it then. What is your answer going to be?
I have a strong bias towards Laporta. He has been my favorite player this year. I would think just it's been exciting watching him and seeing that prediction come true.
So I'm saying, can you do both? But I like Laporta. Higgins is going to be now the number 1 wide receiver with Jamar Chase out. Best defender is going to be against him. Therefore, he's going to take a little bit of a step down. He hasn't been great. I mean, I know he got 2 touchdowns last week, but that was end of the game. I don't know. It's not been consistent.
I think that Laporta is a much more consistent player for you.
All right. I messaged it in the chat, and let's see.
Who do you have at tight end if Laporta's your flex?
She can't hear you. She's watching.
I know. I need to know this.
I need to know this. Let's talk about the
other
injury report
options.
real
Now I
quick.
just need to know other options. I dig into things, so I need to know what else.
Let's talk about the injury report real quick, and then we'll answer Dylan's other questions.
Mhm.
Do you want to kick it off with quarterbacks?
I will. We already talked about CJ Stroud. He is still in concussion protocol. Based on what people are saying, I don't think he's going to be cleared. I am preparing myself to not have him again. Yeah.
I did not realize my cherry was so flat on the bottom half.
It's-
It is not a testicle; it's a squish testicle.
Okay.
Anyways,
Would you
go on.
stop it? Mine is wrinkly too. I saw it on the other side.
Yeah, what's with?
I don't know.
What's with the
I don't know.
wrinkles?
Okay. Anyway, Trevor Lawrence. He's also in concussion protocol, questionable for this week. We have Will Levis is questionable with an ankle sprain.
Yeah.
I think that's what he's nursing over there. And then Zach Wilson also on concussion protocol and is questionable. And Aaron Rodgers, because we can't
Always
not
with the
throw
Rodgers.
in some shit about Rodgers. He was on Pat McAfee, as always, and mentioned that he hasn't been medically cleared yet. He announced this, of course. This is timing is everything. He announces this. I know I'm playing
Put
with
that down.
stuff. Sorry. Heard a little clinkling of my glass. Anyway, he announces this after they lose a game that kicks the Jets from the playoff contention.
Yes. Yes.
So
How
I guarantee, yes, conveniently, he's not cleared to play yet. Had they made the playoffs, do you not see the media throwing together this whole, Rodgers is gonna, they would at least toy with us.
Right.
And
if
I'm
you haven't
just-
joined us before, we don't think he was injured anyways.
No.
I just don't think he wanted to. He did say that he plans on playing beyond 2024. He believes in the Jets, blah, blah, blah. He's starting to have an injury-prone type of deal here. He's old. They're going to have to really revamp that offensive line.
He's old. He's not as fit and healthy as, I'm not going to say he's fit, whatever. But he's not as healthy as Tom Brady. He's not as young. He's an old guy who's not young like Tom Brady.
Yeah. Right.
So he can't just pull a Tom Brady on us and continue to be relevant, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. He is no Tom Brady. That is for sure.
Mhm.
I'm going to talk about the running backs. Zach Moss hurt that arm. I've not heard the extent of the injury, but it's the same one that he broke in preseason. So that's a little concerning. And shout out to Tyler Goodson, former Iowa Hawkeye. He's a rookie this year, but came in for that game since Jonathan Taylor is out and looked really good. He ran his ass off. Jonathan Taylor, though, might be back. He had that broken thumb. He may be back. So keep an eye on that. Let's see who else. Ravens running back. This was kind of heartbreaking. This rookie has looked good. He was kind of taking over more of the snap share from Gus Edwards. Keaton Mitchell, of course, is who I'm talking about. If you get squeamish, don't watch the replay because, he was running and the guy kind of tripped him up and he went to take another step and his leg just went like that the wrong way. It was bad. Torn ACL. Josh Jacobs missed Thursday night. Obviously, the Raiders didn't need him, I guess. They scored 63 points. He's questionable still with that quad injury.
I need him back, though.
Yeah.
I need him back.
Need him back. Isaiah Pacheco. He missed 2 games in a row now, but they do expect him back on Monday night. Ramondre Stevenson still out with an ankle injury, but he's getting closer to coming back. Brian Robinson missed last week. That killed me. He's been very good for me. He's questionable with a hamstring injury, and then Alexander Madison also missed last week, questionable with an ankle injury.
Yes. I feel like these injuries, they're just so lengthy and it's at the worst time ever for some of these players. Wide receivers for you, Jamar Chase has a separated shoulder, and he's going to miss some time. Saints wide receiver Chris Olave. This hurts me. He's limited. He was limited in practice. He's questionable. Tyreek Hill.
I was actually surprised they won without Olave. He's arguably their best receiver by far.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, this one also hurts me. I need him back, and he's questionable with that ankle injury. He's got to play. He has to play. I can't have him not play.
Do you think it was a thing where the Dolphins played the Jets and they knew they could beat them without him, so they just let him
heal? I mean, it would be smart.
They have a hard slate in the next 3 games. They play Dallas coming up. I think they were letting him heal so that he's ready for these next 3 games.
Yeah. And then we have Michael Pittman. He is in concussion protocol. He had a vicious hit. I don't know if he's going to be ready on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm really torn on this one because the defender has now been suspended without play for the rest of the year. And a lot of people, like Tom Brady, is blaming the quarterback. He said, as a quarterback, you can't throw the ball that makes him lay out and get hit like that. But at the same time, he was diving to catch the ball. There's no reason for the defender to lower his shoulder and hit him in the back of the head. Just tap him. He's going to get the catch. Just tap him. I know it's a vicious sport, but I don't know. That was a tough one to watch.
Yeah, we also have Keenan Allen. He missed Thursday with a heel injury. He's questionable. And I don't know, how do you trust him with Easton Stick as the quarterback?
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, this one hurts me. I have a lot of these injuries hurt me. I've been solid. I've been doing well for not having players with injuries. And it's like they all just
right in time for the playoffs.
Hill, Allen, Collins.
Yes.
Who is the next one up? Questionable with that calf injury.
Yeah. No tight end injuries to speak of. Let's breeze through Sir Throws.
We already mentioned. I gave it away early because we were talking about.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry.
This is Jim Miller, former Chicago Bears quarterback, and now it's time for Sir Throws a Lot.
I always jump the gun. I'm just so ready to go.
You got to give Jim his time. Come on.
All right. Our Sir Throws a Lot this week, like we said, is Joe Flacco. After being runner-up 2 weeks in a row, the past 2 weeks, he got it done against the Bears. He threw 44 times for 374 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions.
Yeah. A good performance. Gutsy performance from old Joe, and he's got them believing.
Those 3 interceptions were because it was the Bears. Just going to say.
Second, they said since the past 5 weeks, they're the second-ranked defense. Crazy to think of. So we got, calm down over there. We got questions from Dylan to answer. Questions from George Play. Welcome back, George. Questions from Clifton. Nick is up in the chat answering questions for us.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks, Nick. Hop in there. Get it done.
We're going to get to those right after this. But first, we got to let you know we're brought to you by Game Time. Now, here's a great thing. Go to Prize Picks, win a bunch of money, and you can get some last-minute tickets on Game Time because maybe you didn't have that money before. You were letting it ride on Prize Picks. And now you got it. So Game Time's a place for last-minute ticket deals. Forget planning months in advance. Who's got time for that? Get exclusive flash deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. And the Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price. If you find tickets in the same section row for less, Game Time is crediting you 110% of the difference. They're not doing that because they're giving away that money a lot. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. One of my favorite things is you get images of your seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive. Snag the tickets without stress with Game Time. Game Time tickets make the perfect holiday gift. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CFBX for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CFBX for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed.
We're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets. Win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into Hall of Fame Bets' revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot and which picks have value.
Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit hofbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets.
Now, back to old-fashioned football.
All right, we are back. We've technically won some money because of Hall of Fame bets. Because Nick is using Hall of Fame bets to research these NBA things, and he throws them at me, and it's like it's a random Tuesday night, and I'm like, there's no football to bet on. I'm a D-gen. Let's bet on a little NBA, and it's paying off, you know? Should we answer a couple of these questions before we get to our studs and duds? All right, let's start. Let's go back up to Dylan because he had the OG questions.
Yes.
This is in his other league, I assume. Stroud versus Cleveland or Fields versus Arizona. We think Stroud's going to be out, and I think Fields is going to feast on that Cardinals defense. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm going Fields.
Go with Fields. He's a running machine. I saw today Jay Cutler talked about him.
Really?
Yeah, they said, you know.
You would see. Anything Cutler says, you're the first to know.
It just popped up on my Instagram. But anyways, he now I'm blushing.
I know, look at you. Getting all red over there.
I know. That's actually why I had to shut my Facebook down. Cutler was starting to message me.
He was sliding into your DMs.
Yeah.
So I need to do the fist bumps and give him
right.
give Cutler the finger.
Anyways, Cutler said these last 3 games, he wants to see Fields take off more. He wants to see it because he is sitting in the pocket for a long time. I think Fields is waiting. I mean, next year will be the end of his rookie deal. They have to pay him or let him go.
We can't let him
think
go.
He's not running because he doesn't want to get injured and maybe not get a guaranteed contract. I think he wants a guaranteed contract, and then he's going to unleash again.
Unleash the
because
beast.
last year he had over 1,100 rushing yards, and he's not been that same guy this year.
He has the talent. He has the capabilities.
Yeah.
We're not seeing it. And I've been like struggling, like, is it the play calling? Is it the coaching? Like, what is
part of it?
Part of it. But like, why is he not? Because you see him open, and sometimes he goes for it. And I feel like he is going for it on those safer.
Yeah. This is a theory I came up with while listening to Cutler saying that it's not Fields' fault that they're losing, but that he does want to see him run more like he did last year. Anyway, so we say Fields. Start 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, and 1 flex. So let's look at these running backs. First, Dylan, we got James Conner at Chicago, Jerome Ford at Houston, Singletary, thank you.
Jesus.
Devin Singletary versus Cleveland.
I was like, I can barely read that over there, but I knew that was Singletary. What's wrong with you?
Well, my old fashioned is gone.
What?
Maybe that's it. It was really good.
I know, it's my signature old fashioned, and it is good.
These are tougher options for running backs. So Chicago has had a good defense against the run, but James Conner, I do think, is going to get some carries. Jerome Ford against Houston. Their rushing attack has been so-so with Ford. It's hit and miss. Singletary's been very good, but Cleveland's defense is so good. What are you thinking here?
These are hard. These aren't like obvious. This is
what's your gut say? My gut
is I need to look at Ford. I kind of was thinking
Ford.
Kind of, yeah.
That's what my gut says too.
Really?
Flacco can't
We're agreeing?
Flacco can't keep throwing the ball over 40 sometimes. He can't keep being the Sir Throws a Lot, right? They have to start running that ball, pounding the rock, and give him a little bit of a break.
I feel like I'm going to contradict myself if I agree with that, because I still think I'm going to contradict myself based on my waivers.
I was thinking James Conner, that Bears defense is good, but he has that pass catching upside. I like Singletary a lot too, but that's just such a tough matchup. You saw what they did against the Bears rushing attack. I'm going to stick with Ford. I'm going Ford.
That was my gut.
All right.
And I feel like
2 wide receivers and 1 flex. So wide receivers, Brandon Ayuk and Jalen Waddle. Yeah, it's against Baltimore and Dallas. That's tough, but I think you got to start those guys. Start your studs, right? And then 1 flex. So for the flex, we're between James Conner, Devin Singletary, and Jaden Reed again at Carolina.
I don't know if I think I can eliminate Reed from that.
I'm going to go Conner. I know we're good against the run, but I do think he's going to get some receptions there. It's a PPR league as well.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's where I'm going for that. Now on to tight end. Kraft at Carolina or Komet versus Arizona.
I
would like to back up here. Do you start Kraft and Komet? Put one in your flex, one at tight
maybe
end.
because I was gonna say when I heard Kraft, I was like, okay, yeah, he's a start this week.
Then you heard Komet.
And then I heard Komet.
Arizona's defense not great.
No, it depends. Maybe you do. Would you start if I say you start Kraft in your tight end spot? Do you start Komet over
James Conner. Let me pull this up. I guess never mind. Cardinals are strong against
the tight end position?
the tight end position.
Okay.
So maybe we do go stick with Conner in the flex and start Tyler Kraft. He's been really picking up his targets and everything. So yeah, I like. So final answer. I know we kind of bantered back and forth. Ford, Ayuk, Waddle, Kraft, and then Conner in your flex.
I like it.
Defensive options: Broncos against New England or Bills against Chargers. I say smash Bills against Chargers. Easton Stick. I don't think he's going to get the job done. I know they fired the coach and they fired Staley and everything, but I don't expect that to equal a lot of success. That team's got a lot of issues beyond Staley. All right. George, welcome back. Chiefs, Denver, Packers, or Eagles defense this week? Packers against the Panthers. Bryce Young sucks.
Yeah, I think that's a sure. Like,
on the-
wait, you're gonna get points. You're gonna get
Yeah.
defensive points there if
And
you
you
go
know
with
the
them.
Panthers are not scoring a lot of points.
No.
So you're not going to get you're not going to be
You're not
losing a
gonna
lot
lose
of
points on your defense
No.
because the Panthers' offense is lighting it up.
Yeah. Clifton says, I'm in the semifinal right now. Should I even start Eckler this week? He's been so disappointing. It really depends on your other options.
Yeah, who are your other options? Can you let us know and can we circle back to this?
Yeah, but if I'm the new coach and I come in there, what am I doing? I'm giving the ball to Austin Eckler over and over and over again. This guy was one of the best pass catching running backs the past, 3-4 years, and they've barely passed the ball to him. It's been frustrating if you have him on your roster, like I do in many leagues, you do in a couple leagues. But I think you have to go back to that because that's where all the success has come in the past years. I don't care if it's Easton Stick or Justin Herbert.
So you think with this change, we're going to see Eckler return to form?
I think you have to.
With
if I'm a coach, I know I've never coached football. So this is like, well, actually, I'm a hell of a coach in Madden. But that's what I go back to. My team is struggling. I go back to what worked well for us, and that's throwing the ball to Austin Eckler out of the backfield. So I like starting him. I know that's tough.
It's been hard. It's been an emotional roller coaster for us Eckler.
Yeah. Managers.
I didn't want to say owners.
Can't say owners because you can't own people.
Tisk.
Clifton also says, I have Mostert and Montgomery starting, and then I just had Eckler in the flex, but he hasn't gotten over 10 points in 3 weeks straight. Nick asked, what are your wide receivers? I'm starting Debo, DK, and Garrett Wilson, but I have 3 others on the bench, Gabe Davis, Terry McLaurin, and Adam Thielen. I go with Eckler. Nick likes Scary Terry, but I'm still going with Eckler. All righty. Lamb is the other wide receiver.
CeeDee Lamb.
For Higgins or Laporta in flex because she has Lamb. She's starting. Yeah, I wouldn't start Higgins over
Lamb.
Lamb.
I wanted to know what your tight end was.
I know. I didn't answer that though.
You didn't ask that?
No, I didn't.
Why? That was my question. And you asked a different question?
I did. Jay Money, what's up? Would you drop Cleveland defense for Philly or Denver defense? I wouldn't. That Cleveland defense is nasty. They're the number 1 defense in the league. I would keep them.
I think I would too.
Karen says Mayfield, Barkley, Ty Chandler, CeeDee Lamb, Laporta, Singletary, Achan, ETN, OBJ on the bench. I'm not sure what the question is.
Maybe it's a league where there's not a tight end position.
That could be. I was in one of those this year. All right. Jake, the merch god, Jake Paquin.
Jake.
Hooking us up with, we got shot glasses in the store now.
I'm going to take this opportunity because I don't know if Justin has relayed the message. We would like hoodies.
I said I bug him so much that you should
message
him.
I need to, but I've been so busy.
Jake, I'm not sure where you live, but in Iowa, it's cold out right now.
No, we're getting a heat wave for Christmas. It's going to be 53 degrees on Christmas.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't look at the weather.
I know.
I know that it was 16
it's still
last
hoodie
night
weather.
when
That's
I got
just
home.
go outside without a coat weather and wear a hoodie.
Yeah, Jake, we would like some hoodies. He says
We've
Brees Hall or Zay Flowers.
I need to. Hold on.
My gut says, I don't know. My gut says Brees Hall.
I was going to look up Zay because Zay has been doing.
Well, Zay did not do anything this week. I know that.
No, but
he hosed you in a league. I watched
he
it
did.
happen.
He did. But that doesn't mean.
Jets play
I don't
Washington.
know. He's been pretty inconsistent.
I'm going Brees Hall.
Brees Hall.
Yep. Oh, Jake's in Michigan. See, Jake, you understand. You need an old-fashioned football hoodie too. Yeah. Nick said he would buy one. He wouldn't buy another shirt because he's waiting for hoodies. He said, and yeah.
And who was it? Nick who recommended it?
It was Nick that recommended it.
I would buy one. I would buy our hoodie.
Yeah, we would buy the hoodies. So when you get a chance, if there's a way to get hoodies or to
Josiah would
options,
want a hoodie.
Josiah would wear a hoodie. We got people that would buy them. Should we talk a little studs and duds?
Let's do this, and we're gonna
keep asking questions if you got them.
Keep the questions flowing.
We didn't. I said Brees. You didn't give an answer. Sorry.
I was looking at Zay and I was looking at consistency there. I think Brees Hall is going to be a more consistent option.
Agreed.
And more reliable. And Zay Flowers did just screw me over. So there is that.
Look at Nick. Hoodie stat Jake. And Jake says, all right, hoodies will be up within 24 hours.
That's amazing. Thank you.
We will order one promptly. If only it could get here by Christmas. It'd be a good Christmas gift for
We
people,
are done Christmas shopping. We are so done Christmas shopping.
Let's talk about the studs. You always handle the studs.
I handle the studs, and
Obviously.
I'm going to whip out these studs here. We stop it.
You can get away with saying that. I can't.
I know. We coming to you on a Tuesday night is a lot different than our normal Monday night show. And when we pull in our numbers, we're comparing their projection to where they landed, and we don't have that on a Tuesday night because we didn't plan ahead. So I'm just gonna go over who were studs that really stuck out to me. At quarterback, Jared Goff came in with 31.12 points.
Jared Goof.
Even though he's performing, I still can't help but call him a goof because he was a goof for a little bit there. Baker Mayfield brought in 31.04 points. And then at running backs, this one shouldn't surprise. Like I threw him in there because it was so high, but it's Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's the stud every week. 39.2 points. If you have him, you are happy. James Cook, I'm going to rub this in Justin's face a little bit more. 35.1 points. I told you to start him. I told you I didn't like him on your bench. You didn't listen to me, and this is what you get for not listening to your wife. At wide receiver, we have Jalen Waddle, 27.2 points. Jordan Addison, he put up points. This got you in the doghouse with my uncle because you told him not to start Jordan Addison. 26.1 points.
The logic was there.
Who knew that Addison was going to...
It was between T. Higgins and Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison has Nick Mullins throwing to him.
I know, but he had a hell of a game.
T. Higgins also ended up getting 2 touchdowns. So he ended up saying he was not too mad at me.
Not too mad, but he was getting he was a little pissed at you.
He was a little pissy.
Tight ends, this is what you get when you come to anybody for fantasy advice. I don't ask you for advice that much. I mean, we always talk about our rosters. I go with my gut because in the past, when I have listened, and I should not say this on our fantasy football show because we are right most of the time. We give out some really good advice here. But when we're talking about our individual rosters, sometimes if I have gone with what you've said in the past and I have been so pissed, I just don't go to you anymore so that I don't get mad at you. I can get mad at myself.
She finally found out that I was throwing her team on purpose.
Hey, no, you and Josiah came to me this week for advice in that league and you played each other.
I wasn't going to until I heard you on the phone and I was like, who are you talking to? And you're like, nobody. It's like, what is going on? Who were you talking to? Is this because I don't have Facebook anymore?
We get into so many fights on this family league, but I love it.
Yeah.
The family league has been the best idea we've had in a while. Tight ends. I got some stud tight ends for you. Sam Laporta, no brainer. He's always mostly always a tight end. I'm loving him this season. 26.1 points. And then David Njoku, 21.4 points. Who are the duds, Justin? You cover the duds.
Dakota Rain Prescott. The Bills rocked the Cowboys. He only scored 6.06 points. Desmond Ritter, if you had to start him, I apologize. He's terrible. He is being benched, and they're starting Taylor Heineke. So the Ritter days in Atlanta possibly done. 7.88 points for him. Running backs, guys you're depending on in your playoffs. Derrick Henry, 3 points. Saquon Barkley, 4.7. Are you kidding me? Drake London, 3.4. Tyler Lockett, 3.6. And then tight ends, Evan Engram. This one hurt me in multiple leagues, 4.8. And then Travis Kelce.
Travis,
your
what's
dude.
happening to him?
It's the T-Swift effect.
He's too distracted by
She is
Taylor.
an Eagles fan, you know. She's throwing him on purpose. 5.3 points. By the way, we'll talk about this like another episode, show it to you a little bit better. But I would like to pull your attention to above Miranda's head, not the Santa hat, the Brian Scott jersey hanging in the background there.
Shrink a little more.
That
I'm
he,
so short today. I don't know what's happening.
That he signed for us. I put the camera a little higher so you could see Brian Scott's jersey.
Yeah, and look at me.
Well, you're the one that lowers your chair all the way.
I don't.
Currently in the CFL, he was in the USFL. He's been in the XFL. He's a TSL MVP. He won the SCIAC. That's the conference that he played in at Occidental College. He won the Player of the Year in 2016 there. Anyways, very cool of him to send that to us and sign it and put both of us on it.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I'm not trying to take away from this. Are you sure you have Travis Kelce's points correct?
Yeah, why?
I just have different points for him.
Well, this isn't a half PPR.
In half PPR, he gets half the point.
It could be. What? I'll look it up again. You have 10.3. Click on it. What's it say? How many yards? 28.
Oh, he got a reception bonus.
Oh, what?
Wait.
What kind of league
Timeout.
is that? Oh, because that's a tight end premium league.
Yeah, never mind.
Where tight ends get
I lied.
premium points.
I should probably look up some stats and not a tight end.
Before
premium.
you call me for shit, you should. Should we talk about waivers so we can get to whiskey?
Let's do this.
Just a reminder, Miranda's giving you people that are relevant right now.
Yeah, I plan my waivers around this week. Playoff helps. Like if you need an emergent situation for you, you need to win your playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm giving you a guy who is good
Here's a
this
guy.
week based on the matchup, based on what I'm seeing. He's good right now. Next week, maybe not, but this is an emergent situation for you. We're not long term here. This is right now. And Justin is going to bring you more long term, like a stash. Like, I don't know. What did you strategize for?
Yeah. So,
Like,
in leagues, I'm not in the playoffs that are keeper leagues, whether you can keep 1 player, 3 players, 8 players, whatever it is, the non-dynasty but still keeper leagues. I'm looking at the waiver wire now because it's like, it doesn't matter if I have people on my roster that are good players or whatever. I mean, I'm not dropping like the best players, obviously, but if I have a defense on my roster that I don't need, I might as well look for a player that maybe I can contract or keep next year that will benefit me. So I was kind of looking into those types of guys.
which is smart. You got to do both. If you can play both, like
careful over there.
plan for the future.
It's like
also go
pool.
down.
You always got to think 1 shot or 2 shots ahead.
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
I might have done that 2 weeks ago, planning for my future, so that when we got to planning for the future episodes, I already have it. I don't have to compete with people in our league.
There you go.
All right. At quarterback for you this week, I have Jake Browning, rostered in only 36.7% of leagues. And I know we already talked about him in the past couple of weeks, but he had another really good game throwing for 324 yards and 2 touchdowns. He has the Bengals believing, even with Jamar Chase set to miss time. And now he plays a Steelers team that is trending down. And am I correct in the fact that they're benching Trubisky?
Yeah.
They're bringing in
Mason Rudolph.
Now, is this a holiday play or is this a strategy play? Are they bringing in Rudolph?
I think they're hoping for some Christmas magic. Yeah. Little Rudolph. They've heard the song. They were singing it.
Is he going to paint his nose red for the game?
Well,
I'll be disappointed.
If he played, if he doesn't, you mean? Or
Yeah,
if he does.
he doesn't.
If they were playing the Browns, Myles Garrett would kindly paint his head or his nose red for him. I don't know if you remember, if I could use words, but Mason Rudolph is the guy that after he lost his helmet, Myles Garrett grabbed it and hit him on the head with it. Now, some say he was just trying to help him put it back on, even though it was upside down and he was hitting with the crown of it. But no, Jake Browning's a good play. They played Minnesota. I did not think they were going to win that game the way it looked. They came back and he yelled at the cameras, they shouldn't have fucking cut me, because Minnesota cut him.
Yeah.
And I loved the interview after they asked him about it. And he's like, well, I wanted to say that all week, but you can't say that and then lose to a team.
No,
so I had to wait to see if I beat him.
Pull it out at the right time.
Right. Speaking of Minnesota, a guy that he's not rostered in a lot of leagues right now because he's hurt, Kirk Cousins, rostered in 23.4% of leagues. I know he's older. I get that. Usually you're targeting keepers that are younger, but Cousins has really been solid fantasy-wise. I don't know if he's going to be on the Vikings next year, but I could see him go to the Patriots, especially if Belichick is still there. The Steelers, maybe for Tomlin, if they're over Pickett. And there's that chance, too, that LA is done with Justin Herbert and Kirk Cousins is the guy that comes into town. He would fit into that offense pretty well.
Oh, Herbert. It's just in time for his contract to be done. His contract's up in my league.
Okay, in your fantasy football contract. Okay.
No, okay.
I was like,
my
I think
contract with Herbert,
contracted.
I have a contract with him.
Is this because of my Facebook? Dude,
Calm down.
Who's your running back?
All right. Ty Chandler, rostered in just under 50%, 46% of leagues. He filled in for Alexander Madison last week. He did a really good job. He ran the ball 23 times for 132 yards and a touchdown. He also had 25 receiving yards. And Madison may miss more time, but I think even if Madison comes back, Chandler looked very efficient, where Madison has really just not been efficient this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely agree. If you're still hanging in the chat and you got questions, don't be afraid to throw them out. Just wanted to let you know that. My recommendation for your keeper, Tyjae Spears from Tennessee. He's rostered in 40.1%. It's weird to think, but Derrick Henry's days in Tennessee may be done. And Spears is the next guy up. He's had some flashes and promise, especially in the receiving game.
Did we predict this?
We did kind of talk about it. Absolutely.
We talked about it
with Victoria Edie Butler from Uncle Nearest, the master blender over there. If you know,
she was
Whiskey,
not ready to give up on Derrick Henry.
No. And I don't blame her. I mean, he's done great for the organization, but if you know Whiskey, you know Victoria Edie Butler.
My cherry keeps hitting me in the nose. It's huge.
I feel like a teabag.
Get out of here.
Okay. See it. His best rushing game, week 13, he had 16 carries for 75 yards. Best receiving game was in week 14, 6 catches on 8 targets for 89 yards. He's been good, and he's good at pass blocking. He's starting to outsnap Henry. I think he's their future. And I think Henry will be gone next year, and Spears is going to take over the backfield. And so if you could pick up a guy who's rostered in less than 50% of leagues right now, in fact, multiple of our keeper leagues, I already grabbed him. Sorry. I grabbed him last week because I think he's going to be their starting guy, and he's going to be at least a top 15 running back, in my opinion. Bet.
I was going to say, write this down. Let's see where this takes us.
All right.
Next year. All right. At wide receiver, I have Curtis Samuel. Now hear me out. He is rostered in only 42.3% of leagues. And while this is still technically Terry McLaurin's wide receiver room, Samuel, he's had plenty of double-digit fantasy weekends. And they play the Jets, where the best defender will likely line up against Terry McLaurin. So I think that gives Curtis Samuel some upside this week. So if you're needing wide receiver help, I would look at Curtis Samuel. He had 12 targets 3 games ago, 9 last game, and 2 touchdowns. He could help you this week. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think just this week, because the following
goes against the Niners.
Yeah, the Niners.
Yeah. Yep, agreed. Karen,
and I wouldn't start him against the Niners. Just saying.
Karen would like to know, when is the Scotch tasting? Should we set a time for that?
We should, because you have been coming back to us week after week, which we really appreciate you. Let's do it. So we have
Our 100th episode is January 3rd. Make sure you stop by
Yes.
for that. We already have some guests signed up.
and we have that one planned. We are gonna do something fun
Yeah.
with some 100 proofs.
The 10th, we have a special whiskey, and we're doing a crossover with the NASCAR guys. So
17th. Let's do the 17th of January.
All right.
We're setting it
putting
in
it in
stone now. We have to go buy scotch.
Yes. Scotch.
And we have your suggestions.
Do you have them written down?
I thought you wrote them down.
I can't remember where I put them.
This is why I don't let you be organized for us. You wrote them down. You had the pen when she gave out all the suggestions. I am so sorry, Karen. Can you please suggest a few scotches for us again? Because my husband can't keep things together.
It's on this desk somewhere. I'm sure of it.
Your desk is clean. What do you mean? It's for once
That
it's clean.
desk.
Okay.
Behind there.
Behind there. The second
yes.
desk. My other desk.
I'm going to go with Jonathan Mingo as my future pick. Rostered in 13.7% of leagues because he has Bryce Young thrown to him. I don't think Bryce Young is the guy, but likely they give him another chance. They don't have a first rounder. We have that. They use the first pick in the draft on him. Maybe he gets a little bit better, but either way, Mingo should be part of their plans moving forward. Adam Thielen's getting older. 3 games ago, Mingo had 10 targets, 9 targets 2 weeks ago. The yardage hasn't been there, but the targets are there. And with another year in, I think he's going to make an impact. They're going to have a new coach. I think Mingo is a guy that, is he going to be a wide receiver 1 like in fantasy football? No. But a wide receiver 2 or 3 flex spot that you could pick up now for cheap, I would absolutely.
You don't think you could get him for $1?
I don't think so, because I think next year the narrative is going to be like, oh, they plan on getting Mingo involved a bunch. Mingo's going to be the guy, blah, blah, blah. Because I don't know if Thielen's going to play again. So, no, I think he'll cost you a little bit more next year.
Okay.
In auction leagues. We talk a lot of auction leagues if you haven't joined us for that.
All right, Justin. I can get behind that. All right, at tight end. And now I've been saying that I've been giving you waivers for this week, but I feel like this is like a bonus. This is like this week and next week. I think that this guy could be relevant both weeks.
Bonus alert.
Okay.
Not what you thought I was going to say, was it?
I didn't know what you were going to say. So we already talked about him. Tucker Kraft. He is rostered in only 3.4% of leagues, and I make up part of that 3% because I picked him up and I started him this past week, and it paid off well for me. I don't know what his long-term value will be, given that he was the tight end 2 coming into the year, but he's played very well ever since Luke Musgraves was injured. He's gone over 50 yards in the past 2 weeks, including a touchdown this last week, which is what paid off. I picked him up. I was weighing my options at tight end because I needed that spot filled, and I picked him up, went with him, and I'm not disappointed. He goes against the Panthers, who do have a tougher defense against the tight end position, but I think he'll get the targets to justify playing him. And for sure, in the fantasy football finals where he plays the Vikings.
That's like the Tekkens.
The Tekkens.
The Vikings.
I do that sometimes. So we're moving on. He'll be start worthy against the Vikings.
I need to find that.
You didn't even.
The
I
Vikings.
The Vikings.
Yeah, I heard you.
I did that on purpose, though.
Oh, sure you did. I need to find the clip of the Tekkens. That would be good to play for our 100th episode. I've been putting some clips together. So
I haven't okayed these.
You want to hear what is a major bummer?
What?
You know our outtakes that we had before we were doing our lives?
Yeah.
The file got corrupted somehow. And so we no longer have
our OG bloopers.
Yes. Which was a lot of Miranda going, you'll cut that. You're going to cut that. You're cutting that. Ha 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 ha. You cut that. There was a lot of that going on.
I don't get the opportunity anymore. I've had to really get my shit together for our live shows because I don't have the opportunity to be a ditz and tell you, oh no, you're going to cut that. Or
honey, you still are.
Calm down. I have to be more pulled together. When we were before we were live, I would just no, I don't like how that sounded. Or did I really just say that? That's not going on the podcast.
Like the Vikings.
The Vikings.
Nick says, you want me to keep a Packer player First you say sit Cole Kmet last week and now recommend a Packer player. Who are you, Murr? This was not for the keepers. This was for
This was for
next 2 weeks.
Yeah, right now.
Yes, the keeper,
And-
however. Oh, go
No,
ahead.
but I'm serious, Nick. Kraft is going to help you if you need tight end help. If you don't need tight end help, leave Kraft alone. Let him have somebody else. Unless you want to be strategic and you're going against somebody who needs a tight end help, then pick him
Pick
up.
Kraft, yeah.
Like it was talked about earlier. Who suggested that?
That was Dylan, right? Dylan, yeah.
Yes.
Dylan Fink.
And next week for sure in the finals, whatever, the championship game, he's going to be relevant. So there's that.
Yes.
I don't need your sass.
The keeper suggestion, Nicholas, is Michael Mayer from the Raiders, rostered in 5.2%. The Raiders have a lot of issues, but I do think Mayer is going to be a good tight end for them. He had a game this year with 75 yards. His consistency all year hasn't been great, but in targets the past few weeks has been promising. So I think that's going to keep trending up. He has scored 2 touchdowns since week 10. I don't think you're going to start him against KC or Indy, but I definitely would think about him as a potential cheaper keeper. Cheaper keeper. That's right.
He's a cheaper keeper.
The cheaper keeper. Don't mind me looking down. I am writing as Karen's suggestions for Scotch are flying in.
Thank you.
Yes,
we are
thank
going to
you.
have to, after the holidays, go Scotch shopping.
Scotch shopping.
At Wall to Wall.
Yeah, why not?
There you go.
We need to talk to Wall and be like, we're doing our podcast.
We need Wall to Wall to be a sponsor.
Right, exactly. We'll film a little bit of us shopping here for our channel, and
we
you
could
guys
have
give us a
so
discount.
much fun filming ourselves in Wall to Wall.
Yes. It's mostly me picking up bottles and going like this, and Miranda going,
No.
put it back. Let's talk about some whiskey.
Let's do. I mentioned earlier on the show that we are drinking my signature sweater weather old fashioned,
Yes.
which is, it's so good. I haven't had one since last winter. It's so good.
Because it's what we just make it around Christmas normally.
It's just a good cold weather. Grab a blanket, sit on the couch, and have an old fashioned in the evening. And it's so good.
When you and I do our Christmas, because we won't be at home for Christmas, but when you and I do our Christmas, are you going to make one of these for us?
Yes.
Excellent.
And I'm making one for your parents when we host them for Christmas.
There you go.
So I don't know. I can't remember if I've made them the sweater weather. I did
last year.
But I thought we
Or
didn't
2
have
years ago.
something. Maybe we did. Did we have these glasses?
I
These
don't remember
glasses
that.
make it official.
The glasses make it official, people.
It does. It's a mood. Just like when I go and
Did
pick
you
my
say
coffee
who makes
cup.
bad sweater?
Yeah, let's get on to the. Okay. I'm about to
Before
go
you
down
on
like a.
cup rant over here.
Yeah.
We have stemless wine glasses. It's a fucking cup. Go on.
It's Savage and Cook makes Bad Sweater. It is their brown sugar and holiday spice whiskey. Oh, okay. I was like, what are you
I'm
doing?
modeling the gnome bottle
Yep.
over here that Dylan was nice enough to send us.
Yes. And we originally had Savage and Cook with Dylan Carney from Savage and Cook, head distiller, on the show with us originally back in April.
Yes.
It feels like a year ago when we did
Yeah.
our first interview with him, and they were kind enough to send us. We had the Bad Sweater at that time.
Yeah.
But they sent us the Burning Chair, the Lip Service, and the Second Glance.
Yes.
And Dylan walked us through that tasting. Now, Savage and Cook has they were sourcing their whiskey while they aged their own. I am trying to think of I'm blinking.
On what?
Prisoner Wines.
Oh, Dave Finney.
Dave Finney, thank you. Oh my gosh.
I didn't know what you were trying to think of. So
Dave Finney, because one
Yes.
thing I really like about their whiskeys is they finish them in wine casks.
Yes.
That is just their thing, because Dave Finney had his winery, had the
Mhm.
Prisoner Wines, and then moved into whiskey, which I'm really glad he did, because
no kidding.
their whiskey is some of my favorite whiskey. I am a fan of all of Savage and Cook.
Yeah.
And now that they have their own. We had Dylan Carney back on the show with us. Just
That was episode 90, so go check that out.
just a few. What are we on?
We're at 96.
96. There you
Almost
go.
to 100.
I know. 6 episodes ago, we had him back on for another really fun interview. We have
Yeah.
such a good time with him on the show. Talked about their rebranding of Savage and Cook, what went into the rebranding, because they switched up their labels, that we came away from that really distinct artwork to a lot of thought that went into like everything, even with the Birch labels.
Right. Yeah.
Because he grew up with the Birch Forest.
Right. Yeah, they have a home that has birch trees.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, go check out that episode. It was a lot of fun. You'll get I learned so much from him every time I talk to him.
Do you remember which magazine I used to get? The whiskey one.
Whiskey Advocate.
The Whiskey Advocate. Their rye was just featured in that.
See, you can't even remember a magazine, the name of a magazine that you would get every time, but you're going to say that you took over a team that was bottom of the league and here you brought it to the playoffs.
Yeah, I am going to say that. That's what happened.
But you weren't like, oh, it was
bottom or second to the bottom.
Or second, which completely automatically, when you say that inflicts doubt. There is doubt there that you don't even know, because if it was the bottom of the league, that is something to brag about, and you would, but you're like,
second to
or
bottom is
second
good
to
too.
bottom.
Savage
you
and
don't
Cook
know.
is located in California. They have some really unique stuff.
Mhm.
Like Marina said, it is aged in different wine barrels. That the one that was in Whiskey Advocate, the rye, is aged in Grenache.
Grenache.
You remember that? I think that's how you say
Mhm.
it. But anyways, Dylan, this every year the Bad Sweater has a new like little holiday ornament on it. The scarf is behind me there. We had the wooden one that I see you took off of this.
Oh, I did to pour it. I
tree?
didn't. Well, it's on the
Okay.
counter right now because I took it off the bottle so that it didn't get the whiskey on it when I pour, because I am a messy pourer.
You didn't want me to be like eating the ornament, trying to get the whiskey out of it.
No.
And then the gnome is the one that's out this year. So if you see a cool looking bottle with a gnome on
Mhm.
it, it is likely
And
this
Dylan
one.
surprised us and sent us. We actually got it today. The gnome bottle.
Yes. Yeah.
So that was a very pleasant surprise, and the sleekest spritzer I have ever, container bottle I have ever seen.
See.
Is this gonna work? Well, you don't have there's a sprayer.
Yeah.
As he promised us, he sent us his absinthe.
Yes, he makes this. He started Scotch or in Scotland. Sorry, not Scotch. He started in Scotland making absinthe.
Yes.
So pretty cool.
So he distills his own absinthe, sent us a spritzer of it, and I am excited. You'll have to make your dad a Sazerac.
Sazerac rye.
Sazerac rye. Sorry.
With some of the rye whiskey from Savage and Cook.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
You have to.
Yeah. Do you want to? This is a little watered down. Do you want to try it on its own though?
Why is it watered down?
I had ice in there.
Well, you're just drinking from the bottle.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very spicy, spice, holiday spice whiskey.
This would be good. And, we usually put like spiced rum and eggnog when we have a little eggnog. This would be good in eggnog.
The one day of year we ever have eggnog.
We only have eggnog when we're putting our tree up.
It was a tradition in my family that we would have a cup of eggnog and we would decorate the Christmas tree, and I make Justin do that with me.
Yeah. But I'm not a huge fan of eggnog.
So
So
you
I
took
like
it
that
to we
spiced
didn't. My
rum.
parents never put rum in their eggnog when they did the tree with us. So you took it to. We have to put rum in this.
I'm a good influence like that. But now I can be an even better one by putting the brown sugar and holiday spice flavored whiskey Bad Sweater in it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else you'd like to add?
I feel like there is something we're supposed to add, but I'm at a loss.
She's at a loss. It's semifinals in most leagues. So good luck to you. We are going to be back here Thursday to do a little start sit. So
join us.
come with some more questions if you have them, or just come hang out. We like hanging out too. We'll give you some of our kind of what we think are the best matchups, worst matchups, things like that. But really, we'll just be hanging out. We'll be drinking Bad Sweater again. Hopefully, you'll make another one of these.
I will make another one of these.
Perfect. And otherwise, if you can't make that one, we hope everybody has a really, really good holiday. Whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, whatever you celebrate, we hope you have some fun. Hope you get some time for family, for yourself, everything like that. And safe travels if you're traveling.
We won't have to worry about snow.
We will not.
We might have to
knock on
worry about
wood.
rain. No, it's going to be in the
okay.
50s. We
All
might
right.
get rain on Saturday.
I'm okay with rain. I'm okay with rain.
Our yard is still green.
Yes.
When has that ever been a thing?
I know it's definitely a weird
Christmas?
year. Just a reminder, our normal Monday show falls on Christmas, so we're not doing
So
it.
we'll be back on the 26th
Yeah.
for our final waiver and whiskey episode of the season.
Yes. Set your calendars. I mean, you set alerts on YouTube, but set your calendars. 26th will be our finals waiver wire. 28th will be finals start sit. And then the 3rd will be our 100th episode.
It's going to be a 100th party.
Guests included. We will be drinking 100 proof whiskeys. It'll probably get a little out of hand. It'll be fun. Come tell us your best, I guess, fantasy football success of the year and your worst. Come tell us your favorite whiskey, all that stuff.
And then we'll kick off January. We're going to do our crossover.
Yes.
With the amazing guys, Rod and Cody from the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. We're going to have a crossover episode and drink the Whistle Pig.
Alfa Romeo.
Thank you.
F1 team picked it out.
Yeah, we're all going to try it together. I was going to say for the first time, but you couldn't help yourself.
It was so good, though.
It is very.
Oh, my gosh.
It's a very unique whiskey.
Yeah.
I will say that.
Yes, very. It's aged in tea barrels.
Lychee.
And oolong tea. Yes.
Yeah. Lychee is that fruit. You're like, lychee is the tea. I'm like, no, it's a fruit. Oolong is the
said
tea.
Lychee tea and oolong tea.
Yeah, but lychee is a fruit, so maybe it was the fruit tea. You can
Okay.
have raspberry tea, and it's from raspberry.
I guess that's fair. We should get on out of here. Let everybody else get on out of here. We appreciate everybody that stopped by. As always, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, leave us a rating on iTunes or Spotify. That always helps us. And have a great holiday. Anything else?
Happy holidays, everybody.
Otherwise, my old fashioned has been gone for quite a while now.
Did you eat your ball sack cherry?
I did. It tasted more cherry than testiculars, I think. I don't know, but
these
I
are the
assume,
biggest cherries I've seen.
Yeah, there's something. And that's not the first time she said that. Miranda, going once, going twice.
Sold.
Old-fashioned football.